story now. Some of the country's finest legal minds are being called in to deal with state capture crimes. The Justice Department has asked Tembeka Ngcukaitobi, Vermtrengove, Nwako Maneje and Jeff Butlander to have been asked to help with the prosecution. Now, for more on this, the department's spokesperson, Chrispin Phiri, joins us in studio to discuss this. Mr. Phiri, thank you very much for your time. Firstly, why did it have to take the U.S. State Department to sanction or impose sanctions on the Guptas for us to start doing something here?
Well, what we're seeing now is a culmination of a couple of actions that have been brewing for a while within the NPA, and also to assert the independence of the NPA. These people are not appointed by the Department of Justice. They are appointed on the recommendation of the NPA, and the ministry has approved that at least a certain amount of the money from the fiscus be allocated to remunerating these councils so that they can assist the NPA with investigations and, where necessary, if possible, prosecutions. But also, 112 million has been set aside from the national fiscus to assist the NPA to ensure that it capacitates itself. You would recall that both the minister and the head of the NPA have been on record calling that the NPA needs to be capacitated. Currently, we know that the NPA sits with a vacancy rate of about 25%. So these resources will go a very long way in ensuring that the NPA has the requisite capacity to do the important work that a lot of people expect it to do.
You're saying that this is a culmination of a process that's been ongoing, the appointment of these top legal minds, but the question still is around why now do we start to see action on the part of South African authorities only after the U.S. says the Guptas are no longer allowed to do business in the U.S.?
There's no link at all as to what the U.S. have done. Remember, also the U.S. have done that under their laws. As we have explained previously, the actions of the U.S. are as a result of us requesting for mutual legal assistance from 8 other countries. So you might find that tomorrow another country might take action to assist the South African law enforcement agencies to ensure that we're able to bring justice where necessary.
How far ahead is that extradition process?
Well, that is currently under discussion through diplomatic channels, and we hope that it's not an extradition process per se, but what we've said that for other countries, we've asked them to ratify their legal mutual assistance agreements and also ratify the extradition treaties so that we know that these will stand the muster of any legal challenge if necessary.
Does South Africa have an existing extradition treaty with Dubai, which is where most of these people are located right now?
We have actually entered into an agreement with Dubai, with the United Arab Emirates, to have them have a legal mutual assistance agreement and an extradition treaty. I think it was 2017. On our side, it has already been ratified, and that's why we've asked them to ratify it on their side so that we know that it passes the legal muster when necessary.
How terrible is capacitation in the National Prosecuting Authority that you've had to ask for external resources or external legal manpower, if you like?
Look, it is severe. The NPA has said that they have a vacancy rate of 25%, but it is not uncommon for institutions, investigative bodies in particular, like the ID in the NPA, to solicit the services of, external practitioners to assist them with certain procedures and things that they would entertain in their fraternity. So it is a common practice, actually, in practice, to show that you get the services of an experienced counsel to assist you with the work, or especially investigative work, and when necessary, appearances.
Final question I want to put to you, Mr. Phiri. Is there any truth to suggestions being made that the allocation of funds that you've spoken about towards the NPA, some of that money has been taken away from the important work that's being done by the State Capture Commission of Inquiry?
There is no truth to that whatsoever. And I think an important point to make here is you need to look at government as a whole. You would see that, for instance, the SAPC has received its allocation. Now the NPA is getting allocations. So generally, this is the cycle within which Treasury starts giving allocations to important institutions. And so that is the context of what is happening here. These have been budgeted before, well before other considerations were brought to the fore.
So without doubt, without any hesitation, are you on record as saying that the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, the funds allocated to that commission, are not being diverted elsewhere?
No. The State Capture Commission is a presidential mandate, and that has to be funded separately. This is also an important institution which has to be funded separately.